There is the train, part of the flavor of this stadium here in Houston. This is game 3 of the World Series. White Sox up 2-0. Baseball fans grab a cold, fresh Budweiser. It's game time. The Chicago White Sox don't have the DH, so their lineup looks different. Once again, the starting lineup for Chicago, sponsored by Citi. Podsednik leads it off in left field. Tadahito Iguchi bats second, and Jermaine Dye hits third. Paul Konerko cleans up. A.J. Pierzynski moves up to the number 5 spot. Aaron Rowand is in center. Joe Crede at third. Juan Uribe, and then pitching and batting ninth is John Garland. They're ready to play ball. And here is Roy Oswalt, who was electric in the National League Championship Series.
Wearing number 44, normally reserved for power hitters, a power pitcher. Another huge game, just like last Wednesday when the Astros clinched the National League Championship Series. All right, all you fastball hitters, get ready at home. Here he is.
And with a flashbulb popping, 96 from Roy Oswalt, who is only 185 pounds, a 6-footer. And he gets everything he's got going toward the plate when he brings it. 1-1. Way late on Podsednik, and it's 1-2. Player profile, hometown Weir, Mississippi. Childhood idol Nolan Ryan, who's here watching. Defensive swings by Podsednik, 97 miles per hour, and Nolan Ryan reminding everybody that he's still got his good stuff. He threw the bag well and let it fly.
2-2. First breaking ball of the night by Oswalt. He'll throw them occasionally. Jim Hickey, the pitching coach, said last Wednesday he threw about 12. Another one. This got everybody. After all those fastballs, a curveball, 70 miles an hour right in there.
So already to their feet here in Houston, and with 1 out, nobody on, here is Tadahito Iguchi, who has 1 hit in this World Series. Ball 1 up and away. We've seen Division Series velocity from Oswalt. We've seen NLCS velocity from Oswalt. He was hitting 95, 96, and we've seen him have some World Series velocity up to 97 here in the first inning tonight. Base hit right field. 1 on, 1 out. Jermaine Dye is coming up, and we take a look at how the Astros cover the field. It's brought to you by State Farm. Out in the outfield, it's Berkman in left, Willie Taveras in center, and Jason Lane in right. Mike Lamb gets the start at first. Biggio at second, Everett at short, Ensberg at third, and Brad Ausmus, the terrific catcher, receiving Oswalt. Dye homered in game 1, one of his 2 hits in this World Series so far. Ball 1. It's Dye now. It's Konerko next. White Sox have outscored the opposition 13-2 in the first inning this postseason. And when they've done that, they've gone 7-0.
White Sox have been remarkable at the beginning and end of games. 13-2 in the first inning, and 13-2 in the last 3 innings in 10 games.
They've scored 13, given up 2. High heat. 1-2 on Dye.
This is Oswalt's finest, a rising fastball to Jermaine Dye.
might be. It is. Houston got what they wanted out of Oswalt, and now they take their turns against John Garland. John Garland was fantastic in his lone postseason start. ALCS, Game 3, went all 9, 2 runs, 4 hits. Biggio tried to hold up, could not. Strike one. Biggio, Taveras, and then Berkman. The top 3 in this lineup for Houston. Wouldn't the Astros love to jump out in front? Give Oswalt a chance to settle in. That's low.
This is what we have called Will the Layoff Hurt Part 2. He's had 1 start in the last 22 days. 1.
2-1.
Bat breaker. That was the backbreaker of the Los Angeles Angels at Anaheim. In Anaheim.
Down and in, 3-1.
He broke 11 bats in that game in Anaheim. 11.
Biggio in the left center field. That ball is down and to the wall. Biggio starts it with a double.
But you don't break bats when you're behind in the count. 3 balls and a strike right down the pipe. Biggio knew it, and he gets his 5th double in postseason play to lead it off for Houston.
Doesn't it seem fitting that Biggio would be the guy to get the first hit for the Astros in a World Series game here in Houston? Here's Willie Taveras, who is not only surprising the common fan, the media, but he's surprising his manager, Phil Garner, with how he's been swinging the bat. He had a couple of doubles into left center field a couple of nights ago. And Phil Garner said, we're as surprised as you because he has not been hitting the ball like that all year.
Even hitting as well as he has been hitting, I think he'll be bunting here. Astros trying to get a runner to third with less than 2 outs.
And he pops it up. Easy play for Creedy, 1 out. So Taveras can't get the bunt down, and we look at the lineup for the Astros. It's brought to you by Citi. Biggio first up, you know that. Taveras, now Berkman is coming up, the left fielder. Morgan Ensberg is the cleanup man. Mike Lamb, Jason Lane, Brad Ausmus, Adam Everett, and Roy Oswalt, who swings the bat pretty well. So Taveras did not do his job. And now Berkman steps in.
The most dangerous hitter in the Houston lineup.
Big hole on the left side of the infield. Garland misses down and in, ball 1. Look where the shortstop Uribe is, almost right behind the bag at second.
See that with a lot of left-handed batters, even though Berkman is a switch hitter. Shot from the choo-choo and left.
This defensive positioning is odd to me.
Well, a lot of left-handed batters, most left-handed batters, have a very difficult time hitting a ground ball to the left side. When they hit it to the left, they elevate the ball. Berkman can hit the ball to left field. He's a better hitter when he hits the ball to left field, but most of the time, it's in the air.
Biggio at second with 1 out. 2 balls and a strike. The last 2 pitches have been down and away. We'll see what Berkman can do trying to help out the Astros after Taveras couldn't get the bunt down. Garland won his first 8 starts. Was an all-star. Struggled a little down the stretch, was brilliant in the ALCS. There he is the other way. The Astros strike first. Berkman delivers 1-0 Houston.
Willie Taveras couldn't get him over, so Lance Berkman gets him in. Tailing fastball, line down the left field line. That is the 5th RBI, make that the 6th RBI of this World Series for Lance Berkman. And the Choo-Choo's happy.
1-0 Astros, and Morgan Ensberg steps in. Good rip. Strike one on Ensberg, who in this World Series is 1 for 8. And that one was a home run in Game 2. There's that train with our new friend up there waving his rag. Not only is there a train atop the wall going from center down toward the left field line, but as they talked about in our pregame show, you've got that hill out in center field with a flagpole that's in play out there, which makes it hard for anybody, in this case Rowan, who's getting his first chance to try to maneuver around that hill. And there have been plenty of examples of guys going up on that hill making catches. Biggio used to have to deal with it. Berkman for a while's made some catches on that hill, but it is odd to say the least.
Willie Taveras made a great play against the Cardinals. That came into play off the bat of John Rodriguez.
Ensberg takes a strike. It's 1-2. Lowest ERA in the American League in the first inning for Garland, and the Astros have a double, a single, and a run.
Prior to this game, hitters have hit 140 against Garland in the first inning. That's a major league low.
Ensberg with a double play ball to Uribe. Higuchi. Each side turns a double play in the first, but the Astros get a run. Double by Biggio. And a one-out single by Berkman. Train guys happy, 1-0. Houston on top after 1. It's a 1-0 lead for Houston as we go to the second inning. Konerko, Pierzynski, and Rowan coming up against Oswalt. Right now, every hope that the Astros have in this World Series is riding on the right shoulder of Roy Oswalt. And Konerko greets him with a shot down the left field line. Konerko will cruise into second base as Berkman digs it out with a double. A leadoff double, and let's go down to Chris Myers.
Joe, there hasn't been as much discussion about something being open or closed since Pandora's box, but the commissioner opened it, deciding, at least announcing about 4 hours before tonight's game, that the retractable roof here at Reliant would be open to take advantage of the October atmosphere and the great weather here in Houston, using the rule that the Astros use during the course of the year. At Minute Maid Park, not Reliant, of course, the Astros played much better with the roof closed. Morgan Ensberg said it was a terrible disadvantage to have the roof open. He said, let's give the team something to holler about. Same situation for tomorrow night, according to the commissioner, unless, of course, we have Chicago-type weather. Joe?
All right, Chris, thanks. Here's Pierzynski. A.J. Pierzynski after the leadoff double by Konerko. Rowan will follow, and then Creedy, and see if the White Sox can get right back after Roy Oswalt. .97 miles per hour. It's 2-0. So that controversy was talked about so much before the game. It was a question that players had for us when we walked in.
Yeah.
It was something that, to a man, they were all talking about 3 hours prior to the first pitch tonight. Pierzynski is late, fouls it off to the left. You and I are in agreement with each other that if it's been played this way in Houston, especially here in the postseason, you would think that they would be able to continue.
Absolutely.
And close this roof.
Drayton McClain and taxpayer dollars built it, and they should be allowed to either open it or close it according to their whim.
Here's a 2-1. 3 balls and a strike. The noise can be deafening in here when the roof is closed. 3-1. A double and a walk. A good start to this second for the White Sox.
Roy Oswalt from Weir, Mississippi. Population 532. And tonight, capacity over 40,000.
They came in here wondering the same thing about the roof. And if you talk to the Houston players, they said, look, we not only played the postseason that way, but down the stretch. They had their final series, a 4-game set against Chicago, where they were fighting to get in as a wild card. The roof was open the first 2 games they lost. They closed the roof the last 2 games they won and secured the spot in front of Philadelphia. It's a pitch up and into Rowan. So baseball players are as superstitious a lot as any you can come across, and the home field advantage is a little more distinct when the convertible top is closed. If you ask Ozzie Guillen about it, he said, I don't care.
No.
They can close it and they can put another roof on top of the closed roof. It doesn't matter.
I think you could say that about most of the White Sox players. They don't care.
1 ball, no strikes. 2 on, nobody out. And Oswalt's getting wild. 2-0.
Well, he's a drop and drive pitcher, and sometimes he drops too much on that right leg and the ball elevates. The last one was low, but that first pitch to Aaron Rowan, a slider up in the strike zone.
What a chance for Chicago. 2 on, nobody out, and a 2-0 count. In under the hands, 2-1.
What is a drop and drive pitcher? It's a guy who drops and drives. Fairly simple.
Drops on that back knee and then drives everything he's got toward the plate. He's not a big guy, but he generates a ton of power. Rowan up on the count, 2-1. Ripped, out.
Every break in this postseason has gone the White Sox way. Not this time. Paul Konerko with a step and a half off of second base, and he's doubled up. That's not a mistake. Anybody would be doubled up on a ball hit like that.
That ball was dented on one side.
Crushed.
When it went into the glove of Everett, and he almost overran it. It started to tail back, made the catch, and there was Biggio there to take the throw from Everett. A nicely turned 6-4 double play on the line drive, and here's Creedy. Oh, 2.
If you're the base runner, you're going to take that first step and a half toward third. Nothing Konerko could do. Easy double play.
We've already seen more breaking balls and pitches other than the fastball than Oswalt tossed toward the St. Louis Cardinals in Game 6.
Yeah, I've counted 5, Joe. And last Wednesday, as we said, he threw 12.
So with greater frequency here at the start, the count stays 1 ball, 2 strikes. Creedy has had an October he'll never forget. Since coming off the disabled list on September 10th, he had a fracture in his middle finger and his hand. Guy's hitting .337, and he's carried it on into the postseason. Pretty good pitch, but Osmus didn't make the catch. This postseason, 10 RBIs in 10 games. 4 of the RBIs have put the White Sox out in front. You look at all of his offensive statistics, realize he has played a brilliant third base. Done as much with a glove as he has with a bat. Full count.
The 2-2 pitch is a very important pitch with 2 outs and a runner on at first base, because now the runner will be going a short single or a long single, short double. He could score. Even Pierzynski.
Out of play. Be honest, when you saw it was Pierzynski down there at first base, you started to hedge a little bit on that.
I said even Pierzynski. I mean, catchers not noted for their speed. Except he has 2 stolen bases in this postseason without stealing any during the season. Yeah.
Here's a 3-2 again. 2 on, 2 out. 2 walks in this inning by Oswalt, and we learn more about this right-hander for the Astros. Favorite musician, Kenny Chesney. Favorite movie, Tombstone. Favorite actor, Nicolas Cage. The Weatherman. If he wasn't a pitcher, be a NASCAR driver.
Joe Gibbs took some time off to become a NASCAR driver. Now he's back coaching the Washington Redskins.
Team owner, and I mean, he's made a comfortable living doing that.
Yes.
With 2 on and 2 out, Uribe takes a strike on the outside corner, and again, I mean, he's going away from the fastball as this one caught the outside edge.
Well, sometimes a catcher is the best gauge for that, because he's the guy who is catching the velocity. He feels it, and if he feels right going away from it, that's what he does. Back with a fastball. He wanted that one.
Jerry Lane is the home plate umpire.
Oswalt thought this ball was a strike. Nope, just inside.
2 on, 2 out. Uribe is jammed. 1-0 Astros as game 3 goes to the bottom of the second. Fans join Major League Baseball in our efforts to rebuild the Gulf Coast. Support Habitat for Humanity by calling 1-800-HABITAT or logging on to MLB.com or Habitat.org. Off we go in the bottom of the second. A strike over the outside corner to Mike Lamb. In his last 31 games, he's hitting .316, and he homered in game 1. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Home run off Jose Contreras in his first World Series at bat. The last guy to homer in his first World Series at bat, David Ortiz, with Boston last year.
Lamb into center field, and Rowan comes on to get it. 1 out. Take a look at how the White Sox cover the field. It's brought to you by State Farm. You know, Rowan is in center. Sednick in left. Your main guy is in right. Creedy, Uribe, Aguchi, and Konerko on the infield. A.J. Pierzynski catching John Garland. No unearned runs this postseason. The defense has been terrific for Chicago. 1 out, and here is Jason Lane. I saw you 2 huddling down in the clubhouse earlier today, you and Jason Lane.
Yeah, he's a delightful guy, very engaging personality. He went to USC. He was a pitcher until his senior year. He ended up breaking his left index finger and instead of going on the DL for a couple of months, he became a hitter, the DH for USC. And that's when he decided that hitting was where he belonged and not on the mound.
And he was right.
Yeah.
4 home runs last year, 26 this year. Gary Gaetti can see Jason Lane improving week to week. He thinks next year he is really going to bust out. 1-1 pitch. After a high delivery, it's 1-2.
We talked about it in game 1 about how odd it is for a position player to throw left-handed and hit right-handed. Ricky Henderson, greatest player that ever played the game as a left-handed thrower and a right-handed hitter. Cleon Jones comes to mind. Carl Warwick played for the Cardinals back in the early 60s. Carl, the unofficial mayor of Houston at the game tonight. But a very, very good hitter. Had 3 pinch hits in the 1964 World Series, 3 in a row. But it's just odd, for whatever reason. And Jason started out as a child hitting left-handed, not right-handed.
1-2 pitch. Garland trying to get one past his bat. John Garland was originally picked by the Cubs. 10th overall in '97, and then was traded in '98. A trading deadline deal as the Cubs got Matt Karchner. And the White Sox got a guy who finally in 2005 has fulfilled all that promise that he has shown over the years with an 18-win season. Lane's having a good at bat. The count evens 2-2. Still only 26 years old, 6'6", 215. Went to Kennedy High School in Granada Hills, California. Now it's a full count. Garland was 46 and 51 as a big league pitcher. This year an all-star and an 18-10 record. Ripped into left. That's down into the corner. And foul. Just foul off the bat of Lane.
Good call. Still a good call.
It's one of the best we've seen this postseason. Lane broke his bat. So while we have a second, our Lunesta trivia question. After New York, which state has hosted the most World Series games? We asked that since this is the first in the state of Texas tonight. Jam popped up off to the right, and Canerco is out of room. It's a foul ball, no fan interference, as that was on the fan side of the Great Divide.
Yeah, once a fielder, of course, reaches into the stands, that is the no man's land. And the fan has every right to the ball as Canerco reaches in with a big mitt and finds another glove there.
And the guy who ends up giving Lane another swing gets a glove off his hat and into his face. That's wide and a one-out walk.
You can see Garland looking at home plate umpire Jerry Lane, and he's questioning that call, saying, is that pitch outside? It was very, very close. All it has to do is nick part of the plate to be a strike.
Well, you talk about hitters selling it to a home plate umpire, whether it was Pierzynski in Game 2 of the ALCS or even Dye to a certain degree in Game 2 of the World Series. Lane just threw the bat away and headed down to first. Now Ausmus up the middle. Uribe waits for it, and another double play. Each side has turned 2. And we go to the third. Game 3 of the World Series, and the Astros down 2 games. Lead it 1-0. It's a 1-0 Astros lead. Third inning now, and Roy Oswalt heads back to the hill. Garland the pitcher, then Podsednik and Iguchi for the White Sox. Garland takes a strike. John in his career is 2 for 12 hitting. And this season was 1 for 2 with an RBI. 1 ball, 1 strike. Each side has 2 hits. Each side has turned 2 double plays. 1-1. Strike 2.
Now, obviously, the White Sox have not faced Oswalt, but they've got to be thinking right now, based on Oswalt's performance in the first 2 innings, he's gettable tonight.
Not on pitches like that. That was nasty to Garland. Garland's thinking, come on. I got no chance. Forget it. Strikeout number 2 for Oswalt. And 1 out here in the 3rd inning, but Sednick steps in, takes a strike. Just totaling up the innings that Oswalt has thrown this year, he's at 265 1/3 innings at this point. Through 241 during the regular season, and he has gone at least 7 in every start in the postseason.
And again, an atypical start for Oswalt. He is not relying on the fastball so far tonight.
To the left side, tough hop. Ensberg, 2 down. During the Jason Lane at bat, he fouled one down the right field line, and Brandon Backey, tomorrow night's starter, was wearing a mic and cheered on the fan.
Get out! Get out! No, attaboy, good job, fan! Attaboy! Get in the way of that ball!
He will take on Freddie Garcia tomorrow night, and there is that fan. Gucci grounds back to Oswalt, and he has a quick and easy 3rd. We go to the bottom half. Everett, Oswalt, Biggio coming up. 1-0 Houston. Our Lunesta trivia question: after New York, which state has hosted the most World Series games? Missouri with 59. Everett grounds one foul outside 3rd. You and I would have said California. Of course, we didn't say it on the air because it was not brave enough. Pennsylvania and California each have hosted 57. New York teams, the state has hosted 188. But it's Missouri, number 2 with 59. Cardinals 49 games. The Browns 3 back in 1944, and Kansas City 7. The 1-1 pitch. Everett shatters his bat. Uribe picked it up with a bare hand and can't get it to first in time. A backhanded pickup by Uribe, and he could not make the exchange and get it to first to get Everett.
The ball had to fool him. It was a misdirection. You hear that in football often, but you rarely backhand a play like this. But Ozzie Guillen talking about the unorthodox style of play by Uribe. Even on routine grounders, he shows certainly an unorthodox style unless that ball went to his right. Broken bat, the first of the night. Garland gets a lot of them, as we said earlier. An infield hit for Everett and a bunt right now.
So Everett gets his first World Series hit. And Oswalt, who has a hit this postseason, 1 for 6, waits for his first pitch from Garland. They pitch out, throw down, and Everett caught in a rundown. The throw hits him. And back to first goes Everett, right in the baseline, and Uribe drilled him, and he stays on base.
See, Ozzie Guillen guessed right. The hit and run was on and not the bunt. So it's going to be an error on Uribe for hitting the runner. The runner, of course, has every right to stay in the baseline. And in retreating to first, actually wasn't retreating. Ball right in the midsection of Kennedy. The ball is alive, or of Everett, I should say. The ball alive, and he gets back to first. A throwing error on Uribe.
Not quite Reggie Jackson in '78.
No.
But at least give Everett credit for not just running into an out down at second base.
You know, see, Ozzie guesses the pitch out. He guessed the hit and run, and he was right. And they get Everett in a rundown, and no completed. And I would imagine now, definitely the bunt is on. Take a lot of courage to put the hit and run on again.
Instead, the bunt from Oswalt. Down to second is Everett, 1 away.
Good bunt by Oswalt. Krasinski's only play is to first base with the second baseman covering.
So Oswalt handles the bat well, and Biggio has an RBI chance. He doubled and scored his first time up. 69 RBIs during the regular season out of the leadoff spot for Biggio. He has 4 this postseason. Right side base hit. Everett coming to the plate. Guy's throw. Too late. 2-0 Houston. So because of the error on the throw in the rundown, Everett is able to stay on the bases. Oswalt moves him to second, and Biggio knocks him in.
And the reason that Biggio couldn't go to second base, Dye's throw is close enough to the cutoff man for him to stay at first. Good play by Krasinski to keep it out in front of him. Biggio had an idea about running, and now he wanted to start again, but Krasinski jumps on top of it. But again, the break's not going the White Sox way in the early going.
Big rip by Taveras, strike 1. So Biggio, 39 years old, an 18-year career, 15 years a teammate of Jeff Bagwell. Played 2,564 regular season games. He's the Astros all-time leader in all these categories, and he finally gets to the World Series. And here in his first home World Series game, he's 2 for 2 with an RBI and a run scored.
And if you folks are thinking back there, is that the only helmet that he's worn all year? Yes is the answer. Very superstitious.
Ball 1 to Taveras.
Not only that, when the team breaks from spring training, they get 2 pair of pants. And even though this is the World Series, those pants are patched. You can see that patch on the right leg. He refuses to wear new pants.
A 1-1. Strike 2 on Taveras.
Dennis Laborio is the equipment manager of the Astros. He was telling us the other day, he said, look, I've tried it. I've told him it's the World Series. We've got to have a new pair of pants. Biggio said no.
And that's the end of it.
Right.
1 ball, 2 strikes on Willie Taveras. 2 down in the first strikeout of the night for John Garland.
Good sinking fastball to get Taveras.
Bill Garner before the game said if you watch the tape of Garland pitching in Game 3 out in California against the Angels, he lived on the outside 2 or 3 inches and the inside 2 or 3 inches of the plate all night. There was nothing down the heart of the plate.
Retiring the last 10 Angels to face him.
Grew up in Southern California, and with 2 out, his pitch to Berkman is breaking ball in the dirt, ball 1. Lance an RBI single his first time up. White Sox will have Dye, Konerko, and Pierzynski in the 4th against Oswalt.
The one thing they haven't done to Berkman yet is come inside to him. You keep staying away, and he'll do what he did the first time up.
Or you come inside, and he singles into right. Biggio will go to third, and it's 1st and 3rd. 2 out on the second hit by Berkman.
Yeah, they tried to come inside, did John Garland, but that ball stayed on the inside part of the plate. A little farther in than I thought. It gives you an idea of how good a hitter he is. He singles down the left field line his first time up, singles down the right field line his second time up. He can flat out hit.
So Don Cooper, the pitching coach, will head out and talk to Garland. here in the third inning. 3 hits, a run. And now Morgan Ensberg, the cleanup hitter for Houston, digs in.
Not only was that error costly with the first run of this inning, but it prolonged the inning also. Ozzie Guillen not real happy right now, and that's unusual.
Ball 1. Think about how Everett got on base in the first place.
Right.
That roller to short that Uribe came in and backhanded. Could not get it to first in time. Everett reached on the infield single. The White Sox guessed right. They pitched out. The throw by Uribe hit Everett. And now Ensberg launches one to left. Foul.
That may have bounced in our hotel room. Out of the yard, isn't it?
This ball is absolutely destroyed. The 1-1. Left side base hit. 3-0 Houston. Well, if this has been a postseason filled with opportunities for the White Sox, where they have taken advantage and made the most of those extra chances, the Astros are turning the tables on them with what's transpired here in the third.
It is said that you don't give good teams 4 outs in an inning. And in the World Series, you particularly don't give a team 4 outs in an inning. These guys will burn you, and the Astros have.
Now Lamb. Good pitch by Garland, down and away, strike 1. So it's a 3-run lead for Roy Oswalt. Lamb fly to center his first time up. 0-2. Three pitches, Lamb is gone, but the Astros come up with 2 in the third, thanks to the legs of Adam Everett. Broken bat, infield hit by the throw, eventually scored. 3-0 Houston. The Astros out in front, top of the 4th inning, and a breaking ball is into Jermaine Dye, and we're underway in the 4th, and this is a completely different Roy Oswalt from Game 6 of the NLCS.
No question.
Dye hits it in the air to left center field, and Taveras on the move for out number 1.
Last at bat, a fastball in the wheelhouse of Jermaine Dye. And Scooter can explain the fastball in the wheelhouse.
This is Scooter. When Scooter really wants to scoop, it's time for a little heat. The pitcher just rears back and throws me as hard as he can. A good fastball comes in so fast, that hitter has no time to react. Stay right!
So with 1 out, here's Konerko, who doubled his first time up and then was doubled off second on a line drive hit by Rowan. He's jammed, and that's into center. Taveras can close in a hurry. 2 down.
First fastball was out over the plate. Oswalt coming back inside to Konerko. Where American League pitchers try to pitch, Paul, is inside. When he can extend his arms, he does like he did in Game 2. Grand slam home run, the 18th in World Series history.
So with 2 down, here's A.J. Pierzynski. Walked his first time up. Breaking ball is in for a strike. It's almost like in the NFL when so many different offensive coordinators and defensive coordinators study tape and they look for tendency and they look for trends.
Thinking the same thing.
They try to put a game plan together, and you feel like Oswalt said, all right, I know they're going to watch what I did against St. Louis in Game 6 of the NLCS. I'm going to reverse it completely.
And he has so far.
1 ball, 1 strike on Pierzynski. It really just proves how good Roy Oswalt is. That you can go into one game and just dominate with fastballs and just say, here, hit it if you can, and they couldn't. He had a great fastball and a pretty good curve. And then you come out in your next start and you start moving the ball around, breaking balls, changing speeds. And here's a guy, Roy Oswalt, who is number 4 in baseball with the most wins since 2001, one better than Curt Schilling. Pierzynski is up on the count here, 3-1. To the right side and foul, full count. Slice down the left side, out of play.
What you just said is absolutely true and a very good point, because what it says about Oswalt is that not only can he throw the fastball, but has the ability to adapt to different situations and be flexible enough to do it. No macho stuff here.
3-0, Houston on top, 4th inning, game 3. At home, Roy Oswalt dominated this year, including the postseason, 13-2. Back-to-back seasons with 20 victories. He's the first Astro to do that since Joe Niekro did it back in 79 and 80. A breaking ball on 3-2 and a 2-out walk. That's 3 walks handed out by Oswalt. Here's Aaron Rowan. That's what the Astros have done so far this postseason. They got Atlanta, they got St. Louis, and they're trying to get the south side of Chicago. But down 2-0. Check on Pierzynski. Everybody fears the speed of A.J. Pierzynski. As Tim said, he has stolen 2 bases during this postseason. No stolen bases during the regular season, only 2 attempts. There's a breaking ball for a strike to Aaron Rowan. And there's his career. Came up with the Twins, spent last year with San Francisco. Now in his first year with the White Sox. Shattered bat. Rowan grounds to Ensberg with a bare hand pickup, and the inning is over. The White Sox have stranded 3. Bottom of the 4th. Houston batting up 3-0. There's your pitching matchup for tomorrow night. Freddie Garcia on your left, Brandon Backey on your right. Backey, this postseason, the 27-year-old, no record. Garcia, outstanding, 2-0, ERA of 3.21. Venezuelan-born right-hander will take on Backey. Jason Lane is first up for the Astros here as they lead 3-0. Our coverage begins tomorrow night at 8 Eastern, 5 Pacific, 7 Central. That's well hit. Left center field. Back is Rowand at the wall. It is gone. Home run, 4-0 Houston. If you're watching a game here in this stadium for the first time this season and you wonder why that was ruled a home run, we'll show you the quirky yellow stripe that's out along the outfield wall and then up onto the wall above the wall. It was to the right of that L. So it was over the yellow stripe below it. And that's why it's ruled a home run.
Yeah, in the Wizard of Oz, it was follow the yellow brick road. Here, it's follow the yellow brick line. To the right of the line, and a home run for Jason Lane.
Osmus grounds it back to Garland, 1 out. So you really have to watch. In this case, the second base umpire, Gary Cedarstrom, had his eyes peeled. Lane following it the whole way. And even though the ball came back into play, Cedarstrom and Angel Hernandez ruled home run. We'll give you a better look at that. With 1 out and nobody on, Everett will be the hitter. Adam, an infield hit his first time up. Caught in a rundown and then was hit by a thrown ball from Juan Uribe. Stayed on the bases and after a bunt by Oswalt, scored on a hit by Biggio. 1 hop, Uribe. 2 down, and we go back to the home run and show you exactly where it hit off the bat of Jason Lane. So with 2 down and the base is empty.
I tell you, that's a very tough corner, and an umpire almost has to look at the carom if it's close.
Well, looking at that replay, which is the first time we've had a chance to see it slowed down.
Closer than initially thought.
Yeah, I'm interested in seeing it again.
Yeah. Well, it was the carom back to center field that sold it to me, and I think sold it to Gary Cedarstrom.
1 ball, 1 strike on Oswalt.
Because if it hits to the left of the yellow line, it would have caromed toward left field.
If it hits to the left of that yellow line,
not a home run.
It's not a home run.
Right. And it caromed back to center field, which meant that it hit to the right of the yellow line.
It looks to me like it hits that blue billboard. Let's look at it here. Boy, you lose it, at least I do, when it gets toward that billboard, but it looked like it was awfully close to being to the left of that yellow line. And we'll get another look at it as we continue on. This game goes to the 5th inning. It's game 3 of the World Series. Home run by Lane. 4-0 Houston.